was a couple weeks ago now, but the nose injury. Just walk us through that. How quickly did you realize that you would be okay, and then you switched to new face mask this week? What went into that decision, and what was it like, kind of getting used to that?
Yeah, when the incident happened, of course, in the moment, I never really broke anything in my life, so a little nervous at first, but went to the doctor and talked about everything, but no surgery, no nothing's needed. I talked to Kenny. He talked to me about different face masks and visors and stuff. So, been wearing a visor, but it was raining in Iowa, so I just came to the two bars on the top, but hasn't been really much of a distraction or anything. So I can breathe normally. I can, it feels pretty good. Just a little sore still.
How many times have you gone back and looked at that pass that you threw to Malik? And I'm not just talking about like in the film room, but maybe like on your social media or something, and just taking a look at it. And do you ever impress yourself with some of the throws that you make?
Yeah. During the moment, I didn't know the pass looked like that. More of it's like I seen one on one out there on the outside, and of course, I have 100% trust in Malik. But after the game, like my uncle kept sending me the video, like this is insane. Like I was like, what? So like I didn't see it until I seen the slow motion, and I mean the DB made a great play. He did a great job the whole game. But I mean those moments, it's like those passes when it happens, in the moment you're just like next play. But after the times you see it on social media, you're like, damn, that was a good pass. But overall, I mean, I give most credit to Malik because he came down with the catch.
Dan was saying last night that not even just here, but in your career, you've never been in a 2-minute drill to come back and win. Walk us through that's kind of unique for someone who's been playing this position so long, and then walk us through what that whole experience was like.
Yeah, I was talking to some of my teammates about it. I mean, we do 2 minutes so many times at practice, so he just put us in tough situations. But like I said, I'd never been in a situation where I had to do a 2 minute drive with the team to win the game. And during that moment, I didn't feel nervous at all, to be honest. When we took the field, like as a whole huddle, like everybody was looking at me. I told everybody to take a deep breath, like just embrace this moment. Of course, Atticus made a great kick at the end. Like give all the credit to him. He was on fire that day, especially with the weather and conditions it was in. But I don't know. I kind of was thinking about Patrick Mahomes too. I was kind of thinking about him during the 2 minute drive because I was like, he's one of the greatest to ever do it, and he's always finding a way to win the game. So I was thinking about him. I just had to make sure I protected the ball, move the ball down the field, be aware of the clock. But Atticus sealed the game for us, and we're thankful for him.
We've just heard from Dan that the conversation with some of the guys who weren't going to be able to go in this game is that you have to be a coach on the sideline. You had some time on the sideline this season, and also just what do you see from those guys? What's that mentality like when you have to do that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of players did go down, and that's just the game of football. That's sports and life, and it's always the next up mentality. And we're very talented here. We have a lot of depth and a lot of players, and I feel like just in general, it's just the people that are out right now. I feel like they helped me on the sideline in that position. When it comes like Decorian example, like he's a ball player, he's a playmaker for us, but he made sure he communicated to Cooper. He made sure he communicated to Justice about them making them plays, like Kenya communicating to JJ and Roger. So and Harkey talking to Janoris and everything. So it's just we have a lot of depth, but I'm a big resource for helping out, bringing confidence to the team. But also like we do a great job here, just making sure everybody's on the same page and make sure everybody has each other's back.
Talk to me. Talk to me about that long run. I mean, I think I saw at times you were above 20 miles per hour.
Yeah.
First, is there a background there for you track wise? And talk me through that play. What'd you see there?
Yeah, the highest speed I ever hit was here at practice. It was 21.5. In the game, I think I had like 20 something. Yeah, it was a run play. DN crashed, so I just pulled it. But yeah, my legs, started giving out a little bit. It was when I was running, like, players are moving around all game, and I'm in the pocket majority of the time. So when I have a chance to run for, especially a long one, I thought I was running pretty fast, but I just kept getting slower and slower. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to force anything right here. But yeah, during that moment, like I said, usually Coach Landis run on the sideline with us as well. So like, I'm looking like if he's with me, I don't know if I'm running pretty fast. But I was getting out of bounds. But overall, it was a great run. We had a lot of great runs though. I mean, the O line did a great job, especially running against the Iowa defense, a very tough defense interior wise. But yeah, that run was pretty funny to be honest.
You install a game plan midweek and a guy maybe goes down with injury or the weather changes drastically where you have to kind of scrap the game plan. What's that process like, and how have the coaches kind of helped the offense, helped you kind of operate in a makeshift game plan on the fly?
Yeah, of course, if you look at the beginning of the year, we're taking shots down the field. We're taking, a lot of crazy throws, and offense is all, wide open, and it's just like, all these different concepts and things. But sometimes in a game of football, especially as a quarterback, of course, you want to throw for all the touchdowns. You want to do all of these, these things. But at the end of the day, like, a win is a win. And I feel like just in general, when we're playing at, here in Wisconsin and at Iowa and these rainy, tough environments, the run game is needed. And I feel like just in general, like our front five did a great job. Our tight end did a great job making sure they're getting pushed up front. So yeah, it's just like the game plan kind of does change, and that's just the sport, and you just gotta embrace that moment. Like I said, example, like I gotta use my legs too at this point. I can't really use my arm as much. But overall, I mean, when players go down as well, it's like next man up mentality, next up mentality, like we always say. But the run game is always important, especially Big Ten football. It's very important.
Building off that point of you having to use your legs in the run game, obviously it was the 50-yarder, but even in just some of these short yardage situations, creating 11-on-11 situations where they have to guard everybody for a quarterback counter and stuff like that. Just what's that conversation been with Coach Stein, especially in these last couple of weeks that you've had those rainy games, kind of putting you into that a little bit more?
Yeah, it's well, that's a lot of times when people can look at me as a quarterback, they think pro style, just in the pocket, always throwing the ball, but game on the line, like I always went to Coach Stein. I'm like, whatever we have to do to win this game, I'm down for it. If I have to run the ball 4th and 1, if I have to 3rd and 1 quarterback run, whatever, I would do it for whatever for the team. So I feel like just in general, like you said, it's 11-on-11 football. A lot of times teams don't expect quarterbacks to run, especially in situations like that. Like I said, using my legs has been something powerful for this offense, and I'm glad that Coach Stein trusts me. I'm glad everybody on the field trusts me with the ball in my hands. But when things need to get done, touchdowns, first downs, I'm going to get it done for sure.
Chris on the right. Sorry, Aaron in the back. Minnesota, I think, still leads the Big Ten in sacks. What have you kind of seen from the offensive line to prepare for a really tough Gopher defensive line this week?
Yeah, shout out Minnesota. They of course have great defensive players. D line is huge. They're very powerful up front. But I feel like just at practice, the way we attack against our defensive linemen as well, the way they push our offensive line here, I feel like they're prepared for anything. But yeah, it's just every day just pushing each other. Interior is very tall, very big. So I feel like we'll be ready for sure. With anybody that's out there on the front five, we'll be prepared for sure.
Just how different stylistically, or even the calls, Dante, compared to a year ago for what you were running in practice, and I mean that more in. You guys are running far more 21 than certainly last year, and even the year before, like 5 times as much. And understandably, but you're running that much more 21 or more 12, and the bigger share of it, and the lower share of 11. So just how different is that to run an offense when those splits are just different?
Yeah, that's a great point. Offense has changed a ton, but I mean, when you look at our depth, we have 7 great running backs that can do everything we need in this offense. And at the end of the day, everybody knows Deere and Jordan, Thunder and Lightning, what the things they do. But overall, like I said, Coach Stein is always going to find different pieces for us to move the ball. And at practice during spring ball and fall camp, we kind of felt that during these certain formations or this personnel, we did a great job. So we're kind of just using our strengths, and we always attack our weaknesses, but that's something our strengths is 21 personnel, and we're going to keep doing it. It's very useful in the pass game and run game. But when you have them type of running backs, I would love to be in 21 personnel all day.
You got 2 more, Zach, and then Tyson.
Dan has talked a lot about peaking at the right time and playing your best football at the right time of the season. That's one thing to say. It's another thing to actually do it. What goes into that for you and making sure that, at this time in November, you're starting to play your best football?
Yeah, like I said, we're to the point where we're getting to the back end of the season, and playing at Iowa, tough environment, that was a great win for us. But just in general, our mindset every week is to go 1-0. Make sure we're pushing ourselves Monday through Friday on Saturday to get ready for the the game. But like these games are important, of course, as well. But the ones in the beginning of the season were important as well too. So we kind of don't want to treat these differently. We just want to make sure we go 1-0.
Dante, I was scrolling through Facebook last week and I got an ad, like a sponsored ad that was for a camp that you're doing this summer, I think in Portland. And I'm just curious, for those sorts of opportunities that you do off the field, how does scheduling for that work for you? And like how do you go about kind of picking those types of events the ones that you want to do?
Yeah, shout out my agency, Equity Sports. Brandon Greer, he does a great job is communicating with me about, things I like to do and want to do, off season wise or even right now. So yeah, they plan those camps for me, out into the future, just for me to give back to the community, of course. But like when it comes to doing ads and deals and stuff, they all handle that. So it's not really much on my plate. So I'm glad they're with me on part of my team.